morning, viewer. Welcome to Viewpoint Nigeria. My name is Bakle or Tongryiang, and I'll be your host for today's program. With me today is Chief John Dafaan. Sorry about that. Who is the former Chief of Staff to the Governor of Plateau State and is now vying for the position of the member representing Quanpan, Mikang, and Shendam Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to ViewPoint.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, the only thing a person can really do is keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But I want you to take us back a little. I want you to give us a little background about yourself.
Okay. In 1963, I was born. 3rd of May to be precise, 1963, in Shendam. Started my primary school in Asian Primary School in Shendam. Had a little stint in Boko and a little stint in the primary school in Kwar, my home village. Completed at Fatima Primary School here in Jos. Went to this famous school, JSS Kuru, now Science School Kuru. From there, I was privileged to be at the School of Preliminary Studies, Kefi, 1984 to 86, where I completed the IGMB. By 86 to 89, I had already gone through the university, read Bachelor of Arts in History, graduated in 89, served in Imo State, completed in 1990, was privileged to start working in the state in 1990, October. Started as administrative officer 2 with the state service. My first posting was to the Judicial Service Commission as an admin officer in that place. By December of the same year, I was posted to Government House as an admin officer too. By stroke of responsibility, I was made an assistant transport officer within the Government House in that 1990. By 1991, my services were required in the protocol department. After spending about, I think, 9 months as an admin officer in Government House, I became a protocol officer within the Government House, where I was until I rose to the rank of a director within the department in 2001. So after serving as a protocol officer for 10 years, I became a protocol director in 2001. Left the protocol directorship in 2006 to contest on the platform of the ACN as a running mate to Architect Tongryiang of the ACN then. We, do they use the word gallant losers? We lost to the former governor, John David Jang, in 2007, the general elections. By 2012, I was appointed executive director, Neighbor to Neighbor, a support group and a structure for the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. I was appointed ED. But by 2015, again, grace and favor smiled upon me, and I became the Chief of Staff to the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Right Honorable Simon Bakle along. And I think in the course of it, by 2019, I became a special advisor to the Deputy Speaker, the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Ahmed Idris, by 2019. And the position I held before I resigned to contest for the position which I'm vying for now, the House of Representatives.
Okay.
Yeah.
You made a mention earlier of being the chief of staff to the present governor of Plateau State. So is it safe to say that you understand what it means to serve the people? And I want to know what inspired you to join politics.
Well, first and foremost, let me say that there are certain things that, yes, you can be inspired. There are certain things you are just born into them. Because probably I might not have had a choice. Why? Because I was born to see my father in politics. And naturally, is a natural thing to probably just fall into it. And I found it very exciting, politics, because it's like a big opportunity for relationships, because you get to meet a lot of people, different shades of people, and you get to interact, the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are the kind of scenarios in which politics provide for you, and how you live with them excites one. Not necessarily because I became chief of staff that I felt there was a need for me to contest. I told you already I ran an election in 2006, so the desire to run has always been in me, but probably I've always considered that the larger interests must be served. And so even when I lost from the ACN, I think the neighbor-to-neighbor structure was a structure that I joined to try and help a cause. So I always believe in following to try to see that the general interest is served. That is what is my greatest driving force in joining politics. I like to be with the people. That is my utmost desire.
Okay. So, sir, why did you decide to do it through the House of Representatives when you can do it through any other position?
Well, I think ordinarily it's a very unique opportunity. I didn't know this much about the National Assembly until I was appointed the advisor to the Deputy Speaker. And I was intrigued by the level of his impact within his community, within the period which he served his community. I saw the massive impact he was able to bring upon his people. Because I remember when we visited his community in 2007, I think when I visited that place about 7-8 years ago, I think the story there is different. And now, if you visit the place, it's completely a different story. And especially the whole of the constituency has a touch of certain interventions which his lobbying capacity, his interactions within the National Assembly has provided for his people. And I felt if that platform was something that could be used adequately for the people, I think there's nothing wrong with me also engaging and getting what our people should be able to benefit from the big pot. Because, you know, the state pot is a little bit smaller. So you find state constraint, but the larger pot, which is the national pot, at least we should be able to move up there and see how we can contribute our quota to make our people, especially our constituents, the better for it.
Okay. So, sir, what is your blueprint? What can you do differently for the people in the federal constituency?
Now, the nature of needs and demands of the people, ultimately you find they are similar and they keep coming up at the same. So doing them differently is that I have an requisite experience about the provisions of governance. I told you I served in government house for close to 60 years. So I must have enough experience to know legislative and executive relationship. And lobbying is the hallmark of it. And having served as a protocol officer, I think it gives me great pleasure to say that protocol is a humbler. It humbles you, and when you are humble, I'm sure you'll be able to get so many things. The major challenge within my community, as I see it, is that for me, as a person, our people are agrarian. The southern zone, most of our people are agrarian. And farm inputs and the provision of adequate security to provide the enablement to go to their farms without encumbrances enhances productivity. Apart from the farm inputs, you must provide the enabling environment for them to go without the encumbrances that security challenges portends. And apart from that, there must be an ability to create means in which these people will be able to get to their farmlands easily. Now, the other issue I feel I will be able to do differently is to look at the educational, because the Plateau South senatorial district as a whole, I think it's a bedrock of educational